Recharge fully with 3-zone pocket spring support. Duraflex energized mattresses. Recharge right every night.
ఇప్పుడు 3 నెలల ప్యాక్ కేవలం 99K.
అదుర్స్ అనిపించే సినిమాలు, అద్భుతాలు చూపించే షో, ఆశ్చర్యం కలిగించే క్రికెట్, ఎండ్ లేని ట్రెండ్ కి ఇది కదా మీ అడ్డా. మీ డిస్నీ ప్లస్ హాట్స్టార్ లో.
Hello. Hello. May I have your attention, please? Vehicle number 0072. The owner is requested to kindly park it somewhere else because Governor Madam is about to arrive and she needs to park her car there. Whoever it is, please remove your car from there. 0072. Vehicle number 0072. I would request everyone to please stand up in honor of Honorable Governor of Telangana and Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan. Madam, welcome. Please give a big round of applause. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for gracing this occasion with your presence. Before we begin, I would like all the dignitaries to grace the dais. For that, I would request Comrade K. Sai Kumar to escort our President, All India UCO Bank Officers Federation, Comrade L.A. D'Souza. Welcome, sir. Thank you, sir. Next, I would request to escort our MD and CEO of UCO Bank, respected Soma Shankara Prasad, sir, who is to be escorted by Comrade SSV Purushottam Rao. Welcome, sir. Next, it's my honor to call on the stage President AIBOC, Comrade Murali Soundararajan T, escorted by Comrade Maisa Chinnaya. Welcome, sir. I would request Comrade Nisi Praneeth to escort our General Secretary, AIBOC, Comrade Soumya Datta. Welcome, sir. Now we'll be having our national anthem. For that, I would request everyone to stand up. For that, please, Comrade P. Sashikala and Comrade Shanta Banerjee, come up to the dais and do the honor.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभाशिष मागे गाहे तव जय गाधा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Next, a prayer will be presented by Comrade P. Shashikala.
साधयति संस्कार भारति भारते नवजीवनम् प्रणवमूलम् प्रगतिशीलम् प्रणवमूलं प्रगतिशीलं प्रहर राष्ट्रविवर्धितं शिवं सत्यं सुन्दरं वसुधैकभावनपोषकं साधयति संस्कारभारति भारते नवजीवनम् मधुरमञ्जुलरागभरितं हृदयतन्त्रीमन्त्रितम् मधुरमञ्जुलरागभरितं हृदयतन्त्रीमन्त्रितं वादयति सङ्गीतकं वसुधैकभावनपोषकं साधयति संस्कारभारति भारते नवजीवनम् ललितरसमयलास्यलीला चण्डताण्डवगमकहेल कलितजीवननाट्यवेदं कान्तिक्रान्तिकथा प्रमोदं साधयति संस्कारभारति भारते नवजीवनम्.
Thank you, madam. Next, I will request Comrade K. Swati to come up on the stage and present a flower bouquet and uttarya to our Honorable Governor, Dr. Tamilisai Soundarajan, Madam. Please give a round of applause. A small token of love and appreciation from us, ma'am. Next, I would request Comrade D. Sujata to come up on the dais and present the flower bouquet in Uttarya to our MD and CEO, sir, respected Somashankara Prasad, sir. Comrade P. Ramya will be presenting the flower bouquet and uttarya to our President, AIBOC, Comrade Murali Soundararajan T. As a token of love and appreciation, Comrade P. Divya will be presenting a flower bouquet and uttarya to our General Secretary, AIBOC, Comrade Soumya Datta. Next, I would request Comrade N. Sandhya to come up on the dais and present a flower bouquet and uttarya to our President, AIUCBOF, Comrade L.A. D'Souza. Next, we'll be lighting the ceremonial lamp. For that, I would request our Honorable Governor Madam to come up and please light the ceremonial lamp for us. I would request other dignitaries on the stage to join her. We'll make it fast. Now to present the introduction of our Honorable Governor Madam and to present the welcome address, I request Comrade P.S. Murthy, Chairman Reception Committee, to come up on the dais.
On behalf of the All India UCO Bank Officers Federation and on my own behalf as Chairman of the Reception Committee of the 11th Triennial Conference, I am privileged and honored to welcome Dr. Srimati Tamilisai Soundarajan, Honorable Governor of Telangana, Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry to this conference and for also consenting our request to inaugurate the conference. Dr. Srimati Tamilisai Soundarajan was born on the 2nd of June 1961 at Nagarkoil, Kanyakumari district, Tamil Nadu. She took charge as the Governor of Telangana on 8th of September 2019 and happens to be the first lady to hold this office in the newly formed state of Telangana. She had a remarkable public and social service background spanning over 20 years. She also has an illustrious political career over the last two decades, where she successfully led the state unit of a political party with noteworthy accomplishments. Dr. Srimati Tamilisai Soundarajan started her career as a medical practitioner after completing her MBBS, postgraduate in gynecology. She has undertaken special training in ultrasound and therapy at Toronto, Canada. She worked as assistant professor in Department of Gynecology at Sri Ramchandra Medical College, Chennai for about 7 years and resigned in 2003 for a full-time political engagements. She nurtures great devotion towards public service and enhancement of living standards of common people, especially women and children, with focus on health and education as prima agenda. Dr. Srimati Tamilisai Soundarajan, the proud recipient of International Award titled International Rise Star of the Year 2018 by Multi-Ethnic Advisory Task Force USA and the US Congressman Danny K. Davis for her services to the society, especially in the field of politics, public and medical services. Dr. Soundarajan is known for her strong advocacy towards uplifting living standards of the people through better health and preventive care. She is a great admirer of social and cultural strengths of our country and very considerate towards inclusion of values of basic education system, particularly women and children. I welcome Sri Somasekhar Prasad, beloved Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer UCO Bank, Sri Murali Soundarajan T, President of IBUC, Sri Dilip Saha, Executive Vice President IBUC, Sri Soumya Datta, General Secretary IBUC, Sri L.D. D'Souza, President of the UCO Bank Officers Federation, and all the respected dignitaries, delegates, members, observers, and members of the print and electronic media to the inaugural selection. I once again express our thanks and gratitude to Dr. Srimati Tamilisai Soundarajan, Honorable Governor of Telangana, and Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry for attending this conference, sparing her precious time despite a very busy schedule. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that beautiful. I would request our MD and CEO, respected Somashankara Prasad sir, to present the Uttariya to Madam Honorable Governor of Puducherry and Lieutenant Governor, Honorable Governor of Telangana and Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, Dr. Srimati Tamilisai Rajan. Now for the inaugural speech by Honorable Governor Madam, I would request her to come up to the dais and enlighten us by sharing her valuable words with us.
A very special good evening to each and everyone here. And first of all, I congratulate All India UCO Bank Officers Federation for the Pre-Diamond Jubilee 11th Triennial Conference. I am really very happy to attend this program. And first we gave some other time, and because of my commitment, I wanted to come little early. And I'm really thankful to you for a great gathering for the specified time, which I told, because after this I am directly catching the flight to go to Puducherry. Shri Somashankar Prasad, Managing Director and CEO, UCO Bank, and he told he's a Hyderabadian and he's the native of this Telugu-speaking great state. And Shri Naresh Kumar, General Manager, Personal Services Department of UCO Bank, and Shri Murali Soundararajan, the President, and Shri Dilip Saha, Executive Vice President, and Comrade Soumya Datta, General Secretary, and Mr. Sauman Roy Chowdhury, Shri L.A. D'Souza, President, Mr. Jayapal Garu, and Shri P.S. Murthy Garu, and all the dignitaries who have assembled here, and all the members, and the eminent personalities, and the press media people, and our friends, and my security personnel, and my wishes to each and everyone. I'm really very happy to attend and inaugurate the 11th Triennial Conference of All India UCO Bank Officers Federation, the majority Officers Federation in UCO Bank being held at Hyderabad. In India, banks played an important role in economic growth and development. Since 1970s, public sector banks have been in the forefront of mobilizing resources from the far-flung rural areas as well as extending banking services in the remotest parts of the country. Today, the branches of public sector banks and the regional rural banks constitute 75% of all the bank branches of foreign banks. And I'm really very happy to attend this program because you have formed a federation and you are representing from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Why I'm stressing Kanyakumari is the birthplace of mine. So you have, and when I was interacting with Mr. Prasad, he was asking me, is it a tough job to manage two states? Is it difficult, he asked. I already have explained this. It's not at all difficult for me, I told. Then he asked, in your family all are doctors. No? That's why it's not difficult for me. I always say, when I was posted as a governor of Telangana, this is the youngest state, I am the youngest governor. And when everyone, the critics told, she's the youngest person and it's the youngest state, challenging state. And when she is appointed as a governor, how she is going to manage? Then I answered my critics saying that I am a gynecologist. I am well experienced in handling the newborn babies. So Telangana is a newborn baby, so I can handle. So when an additional responsibility was, as I was appointed as a lieutenant governor as with an additional responsibility, then same critics told, how will manage the two states? Then again I answered, I am a gynecologist. If a single baby is born, I will manage. If twin babies are born also, I will manage. So I will manage these twin babies, one Telangana and Puducherry. That the answer for Prasad is there because I could manage these two with all the, I enjoy seeing both the states and managing both the states, and I really like Telangana because you know the challenges in Telangana, not only being a governor, there are various challenges I am facing in Telangana. But apart from that, my affection and my love to the people of Telangana is something extraordinary. So I love Telangana. So only when they called for this program, I wanted to come. And when my advisor asked me, Mugunti sir, and Sharma sir wanted me to come here and to attend this program, and it's a honor for the bank officials. And I told it's not only honor for them, it's a honor for me because the committed commercial experts, because of you only the economy is moving forward. And I'm very proud that India marched forward even in the recent conference in the Switzerland. They have mentioned India has projected an Indian model. In spite of all the setbacks due to pandemic, India is marching forward in managing its economy because of the people and because of the bank officials like you, because of your expert management. It is not an easy job. I always say, because when Prasad also in a small interaction he was telling, doctors are poor patients, he told. Then I told, not only doctors are poor patients, all professionals are poor patients only. I always say, we to the bank officials, we needn't say, we always count the currencies. But are we counting the calories? No. So you are all expert in counting the currencies. But my appeal is, please count the calories also. So when well-being, because morning I attended a yoga program, our Honorable Prime Minister, with all his efforts, with the support of UN Assembly, we are celebrating the June 21st as the International Yoga Day. So countdown started. In another 25 days, we are going to celebrate the Yoga Day. So we have to be hale and healthy by mind and body. So only particularly you people should be very healthy by not only physically, mentally also. Because the smallest mistake you do also, it will create great problems. So I appeal that you all should be very hale and healthy. And I am very thankful to you because so much of service activities, your flood relief and death relief, meritorious children award, and holiday home facility, and medical aid scheme and whatnot. When I was reading about the federation, and really I am very happy about the service activities which you are actually carrying out. Apart from that, UCO Bank has a geographically well spread branch network in India and has also presence abroad. And I should not talk everything about you yourself because they have given a note to me about all the UCO Bank, because it is like selling a gold needle among the goldsmith because you know everything. So, but one or two appeal, as I said, please look after your health and the commitment towards you. And I am really very happy after the pandemic, we are able to, after 2 years, we are able to celebrate these type of programs and annual conferences because of the vaccinations we have taken. So I am really very happy that I am very proud. I have taken the Indian vaccination, my vaccination produced by my scientists. And we are very proud, we are exporting to more than 150 countries. Why I am expressing with such a pride? Because during our medical education, when we were students, we were longing for the vaccinations which were imported from other countries. We were dreaming for a situation that the vaccine should be produced from our country. So I am very happy in this pandemic. So only in the cooperation and the collaboration and the federation of the world leaders expressed, because India has led an Indian model in the production of the vaccine and as well as the administration of the vaccine. Very systematically administered. So whatever may be the profession, if I am a medical professional, I am very happy about that. We have crossed the pandemic situation. We have combated the virus with all our commitment. Like that, you, the bank professionals, the economists, you are very proud that with all your committed duties and your commitment, and we have crossed the most challenging situation of the pandemic. So I am really very happy to attend this program, and your federation should come up with flying colors with more service activities, and I wish you all the best. And I am very happy that most of the activities which you are carrying out, whether it is you are supporting the Prime Minister's views of water conservation and eliminating the single-use plastics, healthcare access, housing for all, and a big dream of 5 trillion economy. I thank all the UCO Bank officers for supporting the government with your eminent and efficient work. I really wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam, for your kind, experienced and valuable words. Now, for presentation of memento to Honorable Governor, madam, may I request Comrade L.A. D'Souza, President AIUCBOF, to do the honor by coming on the dais. Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir. Now to present the vote of thanks, may I request President All India UCO Bank Officers Federation, Comrade L.A. D'Souza, to come up on the dais.
Good evening, everyone. We express our gratitude and thanks to Dr. Srimati Tamilisai Soundarajan, Honorable Governor of Telangana and Lieutenant Governor of Pondicherry for attending and inaugurating the inaugural session of the 11th Triennial Conference of All India UCO Bank Officers Federation. Her speech has definitely enlightened us and enthused all present over here. We shall look forward to her patronage. We also thank Mr. Soma Shankar Prasad, MD and CEO UCO Bank, Comrade Murali Soundarajan P, President AIBOC, and Comrade Somya Datta, General Secretary AIBOC, for attending this inaugural session. And a very big thank you to all those present here. Thank you, sir.
As Madam is tight on her schedule, for bidding her adieu, we will be having our national anthem, so request everyone to please stand up once again.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभाशिष मागे गाहे तव जय गाधा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Now we'll break for tea for 15 minutes. Now we'll break for tea for 10 minutes and we will start with our second portion of our inaugural session. So I would request everyone to just take 10 minutes and not more than that. लोकल देते जाइए, मैं लिखते जा रही हूँ। वही के श्वेता वो जो थी वही नाम सब दे रहे थे। के स्वाति
सुजाता।
हाँ
डी सुजाता।
डी सुजाता।
नरेश कुमार। पी शशिकला।
एम संध्या।
N.
N Sandhya. P
P.
Ramya.
Ramya.
P Divya.
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 Divya na?
DIV.
Divya.
And Vinila. Initial पता नहीं.
Vinila.
शांति के दूसरे एक लड़के थे. शांता बनर्जी. शांता बनर्जी. बनर्जी. दूसरा एक नहीं पता नहीं साहब अकेले.
फिर से बुला लेते इनमें से कोई और. अच्छा.
Please, everyone, take your seat fast. We are running late already. We are commencing the session. Those who are outside, kindly take your seats.
অলরেডি আছেন আচ্ছা 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 তো টাকার দরকার নেই
নাম বললে ওরা
Good evening, everyone. I would request everyone to kindly settle down.
as we are going to begin our second session of today's evening. We have been joined on the dais by Shri Naresh Kumar, General Manager, HRM, UCO Bank, who is the guest of honor. Please give a round of applause. We have with us Comrade Dilip Shah, Executive Vice President, AIBOC. Comrade Shauman Roy Chaudhary, General Secretary, AIUCBOF. Comrade P.S. Murthy, Chairman, Reception Committee. Comrade J.C. Shandil, Chairman, AIUCBOF. We'll begin our second session with presentation of floral bouquet to the dignitaries on the dais. And for doing that honor, I request K. Swati to come up on the dais and present a floral bouquet to our respected Managing Director and CEO of UCO Bank, Sri Shoma Shankara Prasad, who is the chief guest for today's evening. I will request Comrade D. Sujata to come up on the stage and present floral bouquet to Shri Naresh Kumar, General Manager, HRM, UCO Bank, who is the guest of honor for today's evening. Comrade P. Sashikala, you're requested to come on the stage and present a floral bouquet to Comrade Murali Sundararajan T., President, AIBOC, who is the guest of honor for today's evening. Comrade N. Sandhya will be presenting the floral bouquet to Comrade Dilip Shah, Executive Vice President, AIBOC, who is the guest of honor for today's evening. Thank you, Madam. Comrade P. Divya will be presenting floral bouquet to Comrade Shaumya Datta, General Secretary, AIBOC, who is the keynote speaker for today's evening. I would request Comrade Vinila to come and present the floral bouquet to Comrade L.A. D'Souza, President, All India UCO Bank Officers Federation. Can it be a bit louder? Comrade Shanta Banerjee will be presenting the floral bouquet to our beloved Comrade Shauman Roy Chaudhary, General Secretary, All India UCO Bank Officers Association, Federation. Sorry. Comrade P. Ramya will be presenting the floral bouquet to Comrade J.C. Shandil, Chairman, AIUCBOF. Welcome, sir. Thank you, madam. Comrade Himani will be presenting the floral bouquet to Comrade P.S. Murthy, Chairman, Reception Committee. I would request Comrade Shri Ram to present the floral bouquet to Comrade K.D. Khera, former President, All India Banks Officer Confederation. He's off the dice. Welcome, sir. I would request Comrade Madhu to present the floral bouquet and Uttarya to Comrade N. Kumaraswamy, former General Manager, UCO Bank. He has left already. So we'll move on to the next. Welcome address will be presented by Comrade P.S. Murthy, Chairman, Reception Committee. For that, I request sir to kindly come up on the dais. As he has already given the welcome address, we'll move on to the next session. I would request our beloved Managing Director and CEO, UCO Bank, respected Soma Shankara Prasad sir, to come up on the dais and share his experience, valuable words with us. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Dignitaries on the dais and my dear colleagues. It's a pleasure to be here on the occasion of, next year you'll be celebrating the Golden Jubilee, so you call it the pre-Golden Jubilee celebrations of the UCO Officers Association. Well, just before coming onto the stage, there was somebody from the press who said, can you talk to us something about this function? So I was telling him, saying that I'm very happy to be here because UCO Bank Association, the Bank Officers Association, is very unique because when the bank was passing through a very difficult phase, I'm talking about the first time when the bank was passing through a very tough phase, the association basically, along with the management, gave a commitment to the government that we are willing to sacrifice some of the benefits for the sake of the bank, and they worked hand in hand with the management to bring the bank out of the mess. And even last time, maybe last couple of years, maybe about 2-3 years back, again when the bank was in the PCA, I think it is because of the hard efforts put in by everyone, including the officers, and the fact that the Officers Association supported the officers in putting in a lot of hard work for the bank, that we are out of PCA and we are where we are today. Well, I think all of you are aware that public sector banks have a very unique role to play in this particular country. See, we always talk about a bank being a commercial organization, and very often when the results come out, public sector banks are compared with the private sector banks. And we often read in the press saying that how the efficiency parameters in the private sector banks are much better than the public sector banks. But one fact which is often forgotten is that in a country like India, we just cannot compare India with a country like US or some other developed country. Banks have also an important social role to play. So if you look at what is happening in India in the last maybe 10, 12 years, banks have partnered with the government in launching a lot of new initiatives to help people access the banking system. I think all of you are aware that Jan Dhan accounts have been opened, and almost now every family in India has got a Jan Dhan account, and now the objective is to reach every member of the family so that everybody has got a bank account with some bank or the other. If you look at the number of Jan Dhan accounts which have been opened by the public sector banks and compare it with the number of Jan Dhan accounts which are opened by private sector banks, you can say that nearly 85 to 90% of the Jan Dhan accounts have been opened by the public sector banks and not the private sector banks. So if you look at the share of the private sector banks in the economy or in the banking system, at least when it comes to a lot of welfare measures launched by the government, it is the public sector banks which have been in the forefront. Even if you look at UCO Bank, for instance, we have about 3 crore accounts, customer accounts with us. Out of that, 30%, 1 crore are Jan Dhan accounts. And the fact also remains that out of 3,000 branches which we have, about 2/3 of the branches are in semi-urban and rural areas. So it is here that the public sector banks have played a very key role. That is a fact I was trying to emphasize. And the Officers Association has played a very important role in supporting the various initiatives which have been launched by the government. You look at what has happened during the second wave of COVID, or even during the first wave of COVID. It was again banks which were in the forefront. And I think the governor was also talking about it, saying that banks have played a stellar role in keeping the wheels of the economy moving. And I think all of you are aware, since the public sector banks have most of their branches in semi-urban and rural areas, we have taken the brunt of this COVID. Because in urban areas, maybe to a certain extent, the medical facilities are better, and maybe we can take certain measures to mitigate the impact of COVID, but it is not so in rural areas. See, the rural areas, we are open, anyone walks in, and as you all know, the levels of hygiene and the levels of medical care are much less in the semi-urban and the rural areas. So if you look at the number of people who have put their life at stake, and some of them have lost their lives also in the second wave of COVID, it is basically the public sector banks which have again been in the forefront. And here, I must also compliment the Officers Association that they have not only, taken up this call of duty in the national interest, they have actively encouraged their members in this, during COVID. And at the same time, they have played a very constructive role in ensuring that whatever help is possible is done to the members in their fight against COVID. So if you look at, when you talk about association, you talk about management, very often what we think about is like, we always think that they are rivals, right? You say they are on two sides of the fence. But it is not so. I don't think that association and management, they are rivals. They are like two sides of the same coin. Because, see, our interest is common. Our interest, basically is the same. What is it that association wants and what is it that the management wants? We only want the employees to have the best of facilities, and we want the bank to prosper. Well, these are, I think, what is topmost in the either in the mind of the management or in the mind of the association members. This is what we want. So I don't see there is any conflict of interest between the association and the management. So we want the bank to prosper, we want the bank to do well, and we want to have the best possible facilities for our employees. So the management has also been proactive. We have always tried to do something for the members, and I think all of you are aware when recently we have revised the rental ceilings for leased accommodation, we have compared ourselves with the big banks, with the best banks in the country, because I felt that we should be in no way inferior to the facilities provided by the other banks. So that has been our common interest. And when I was sitting there in the front row, I happened to meet, you all know that I have come from State Bank of India. I was earlier in State Bank of India. So I think all of you are aware that, I am from State Bank of India, and then I met a couple of office bearers of State Bank of India Association. I still remember my younger days in State Bank of India when I was maybe a scale 1 or a scale 2 officer. And I was telling them, saying that whenever we had an issue in State Bank of India, or whenever I faced an issue personally in State Bank of India, I used to go to the Officers Association those days. I'm saying an issue in the sense it may be something related to some problem that I'm facing in the bank. So we had one gentleman called Mr. Shivshankar Reddy, still who I fondly remember. He was at that time one of the secretaries in the Officers Association. And he was such a kind soul that whenever we went to him with our problems, we used to feel that the moment we enter his room and show him whatever the explanation letter given by the bank or some issue that we had, I always used to feel at ease that my problem has been solved. So that is the kind of feeling I used to get whenever I used to go and meet him. That is because, you go and meet somebody who is representing the larger officers community. He knows the problems, he knows the kind of issues that the officers are facing, and therefore he would be able to deal with it in a much better way. I still remember that sometimes when, of course, we had this, upgrade from Finacle 7 to Finacle 10. Similarly, in SBI, of course, we had several times there's a change in technology, or there may be some issues that we may be facing in the bank. What happens is that many times we think that these are problems that we are facing as an individual. We feel that it is a problem which is very peculiar to that particular branch or peculiar to you. But when this problem is brought to the notice of the association, or when we go and talk to people in the association, sometimes we realize that this problem is more broad-based. It has nothing to do with the way you work in the bank or with that particular branch. So it is a more or less a common problem which is there at the whole bank level. So it is here that the association plays a very constructive role in bringing to the notice of the management, saying that these are the issues which are facing our members or our officers. And again, it is in our common interest to solve these problems. In fact, when this upgrade took place from Finacle 7 to Finacle 10, there were letters which were written by the Officers Association to me personally. I remember receiving a couple of letters. Loans opening gold loans after the upgrade to Finacle 10 is a big issue that our officers are facing. So that was a problem, and it was when they wrote to me and when it came to my notice, then we sat this issue to the extent possible. So the point I'm trying to make here is that this is a very constructive role played by the association, because they bring to the notice of the management certain common problems which may not otherwise be brought to our notice. So our interests are aligned to their interests, because our interest also is to make our life easier for our own officers by solving the problem. So I think there is a lot of commonality of interest between the association and the management. I think gone are the days when we used to think that they don't go together or they don't gel together. There is a conflict of interest and there are issues. So I think the whole idea is that we should work together for the development of the bank and for ensuring that the life becomes much more easier for people who are actually sitting at the operating level. I always tell, whenever I address branch managers, I think I've addressed in Hyderabad also, I always tell that in the army, when you look at the list of recipients who have got Paramveer Chakra, Mahavir Chakra, Veer Chakra, it is not the lieutenant generals or the major generals or the brigadiers or even the colonels who get these honors or these awards. It is the soldiers who are fighting on the battlefield who get these awards, right? So, you never came across any instance where a Paramveer Chakra has been given to somebody who is higher up in the ranks. So I always tell my branch managers whenever I address them, saying that you are like soldiers on the battlefield. You are fighting the battle for us. You are there at the counters, you are facing the customers. So the image of the bank is in your hands. It is not the MD who decides the image of the organization, or the ED, or the GMs, or the DGMs. It is the officers who are sitting and in the branches and facing the customers who are deciding the image of the bank. If somebody says that UCO Bank customer service is good, it is because of one interaction he had with the branch where the service provided by an officer was excellent. So that is how I look at officers. They are our frontline soldiers who are fighting the battle for the UCO Bank in the battlefield. So they are entitled to the best of facilities, subject to the constraints that we have in terms of our profitability and certain other constraints that we have being a government bank. But that is how I look at the officer community, because I am myself a member of the officer community. I mean, it's not that I have been born as an MD and I don't have any touch with the reality at the ground level. But I mean, I've been an officer like you for many years. So I know, I mean, that what kind of problems that we face when we are actually working in the branches, because whatever be the strategy that we lay down, it is ultimately the people on the ground who decide the success of that strategy. So as I said, there's a lot of commonality of interest between us and the association. And I'm sure that I think that is the same feeling which the members of the association must also be having. So I'm sure that we'll work together to ensure that our bank prospers, reaches greater heights, so that all of us, I mean, I think all of you got your PLI this year, right? We ensured that it got credited to your account on the same day on which the board meeting was held. I mean, that was just a gesture to show that, yes, it should be done on the same day. So, I mean, let us all work together, ensure that the bank prospers more and more, and we reach greater heights, so that all of us as members of this bank can share the fruits of prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You have beautifully spoken. We'll feel more motivated to join the branch now, and thank you for recognizing the contribution of the officers of the bank towards the development and growth of this bank. Next, I would request Shri Naresh Kumar, General Manager, HRM, UCO Bank, to come up to the dais podium and share a few words with us.
Namaskar. Respected our MD and CEO, Sri Prasad Sahab, Comrade Murali Soundararajan, President AIUCBOF, Comrade Soumya Datta, General Secretary AIUCBOF, Comrade Dilip Saha, Active Vice President, Comrade Murthy, Chairman Reception Committee, Comrade D'Souza, President of AIUCBOF, and Soumya, General Secretary, AIUCBOF, and other many senior leaders, those who are available here, some are not also available, difficult to name them all, and all dear comrades. It is a really pleasure to be here with you on this honorable 11th Triennial Conference of Federation, and I'm thankful Federation invited me to be here, and also thankful to MD Saab who allowed to be here. When I was coming out from airport, there were people to receive. Also, I met a bunch of comrades who were there running here and there. I understood that they are on duty. Out of my curiosity, I asked them, what are you doing here? Knowing well that I know what they are doing. They told, sir, we are here on duty. Delegates and members are coming, so we are receiving them. I just talked around 10 minutes to them, and I told that it is happy to know, to see you, that happily you are doing this work, because your seniors, those who have put you here on duty, not only merely put you on duty, Rather, they are training you, they are developing organization skill in yourself. So be thankful to your seniors and do this duty very diligently and very dedicatedly. I also told that once upon a time when I was young like you, I was also doing same thing here. Then lot of talk was there that time, sir, no mobile, how you are managing? Then I told we were managing because once a duty means duty. Maximum people used to travel by train. So if train is late by 4 hours, we'll keep on standing there for 4 hours and keep on waiting for the delegates and members to come. My purpose of referring this says here that it is not a one-sided story. It is not a one-sided story. Whether we work, we both the side when we work in bank or in spare time with our association, it is a development of our personality. Regarding union, if we talk, because this I am referring, I have my own experience. Lot of things I learned in bank and many more things I learned in association also. And I have no hesitation to say that Comrade Suminda is here, and I have been Comrade G.N. Srivastav, with whom I have a very closely associated, and lot of things we learned in this journey and is still learning. It is not exaggeration what I am telling. People, those who come across, they can know, they can understand that yes, lot of organization skill also gets developed when we work towards organization. Reason, they are like we choose branch head, organization also chooses certain people. The responsibility can't be given to everyone. As a zonal head, when we choose a branch head, similarly a leader of union also chooses a person who is responsible and who can deliver the best. Regarding union, we know union have its own functions, like in very 4-5 nutshell we say, regulation of with management, redressal of grievances, raising demands of the employee, collective bargaining, and negotiating. But totally, if we say, means if we summarize this all basic functions of union, then we say that union is a collective voice of all the employee. Union is a collective voice of all the employee. This is a major role union play. And now, I came as a here GM HR or GM personnel in olden days we used to say. Role of GM HR or personnel used to be bridge between the union association and management. Management had its own objective to meet out. We have to define or formulate a policy which are beneficial to the growth of the bank. Same time, we have to ensure that these policies should be conducive, cooperative, developmental and helpful to our officers also, our employee also. So this bridge used to be GMHR or HR had used to be a bridge between the top management and the workforce. And this role need to be played very diligently. Because if this balance is not there, then lot of industrial dispute take place. History says it has taken also, but it cannot take place when both are responsible, management side and union side, and GMHR is playing his role very successfully. I'm happy to say that during last 3-4 years, we have been maintaining very high and healthy relations with all the unions, not only with IBO, with all the unions. Growth story of the bank is the witness, is the evidence of this successful relations. MD sir just now told that people in the field, those who are field functionary, actually they are the people who earn for the bank. Very correctly, recently there was one clipping came on the WhatsApp, you must have seen, 24 degree and 48 degree. The people, those who work in AC, 24 degree temperature. On the other hand, people, those who work in the 48 degree temperature. So people, those who work in the 48 degree temperature, actually they earn for the organization. So you are the people, field functionary, who earn for the organization. And needless to say that during pandemic, you have shown your mettle, your untiring duties skill. That what you delivered during the pandemic. Entire nation saw that, and at least being a banker, we all are proud of what we did that time. Those days has become history, but we all know that how our people, we were sitting in head office, but we were with you every now and then, lot of circulars, guidelines, we are talking with you. We cannot forget those days where how we ran the branches, how our people got admitted in hospitals, and how we could help public at large beyond our customer even. So really it is a great appreciation for all field functionaries. Regarding union, one more thing I would like to say, that being when we talk of AIUCBOF, who has a very glorious history, this glorious history beside, all the time being a very, very responsible, if there have been some minor conflicts, then also those conflicts were never brought into knowledge of top management. At very lower level, they got settled, and all the time, Federation has been stood by the side of growth of the bank. This we all know. Now, if we talk of bank, so already MD sir told in the press media person who was taking a bite, and otherwise also, that PLI was credited on same day. Really, sir, we all are behalf, all you quite, I say we are thankful for this. But MD sir, so jovial and calm and cool, he is looking, actually he is not so calm and cool. He knows that maintain same profitability, we had to work hard. A good profit we used to get from the treasury, but unfortunately, bond market is not favorable to us this quarter, this time. To compensate that, we had to work more in RAM sector. We had to earn more operating profit. And for this very simple thing, you all know, your zonal managers must have told you a number of times, on the cost of repetition, again I say, we should get low-cost deposit and high-yielding advances we need to sell. High-yielding advances, I mean here, retail. We all know corporate advances are not high-yielding. Retail advances are high-yielding. So these all things bothering respected MD sir, but as a effective, influential and efficient leader, he keep on smiling and keeps cool himself. But these things naturally bothering. To reduce this botheration, when now then we have to play our role. What role we have to play? Again I repeat, we have to increase the operating profit. Whenever MD sir talks, he talks of profitability. Profitability means we are not talking of net profit here, that is a head office work, finance department work, CFO work, but operating profit is our work. How much net profit will be, that finance department will decide, but operating profit jointly we all have to decide. And how we will decide? Again, low cost deposit, CASA, how we can increase and how we can increase the retail advances. Very simple thing. These two things if we keep in mind, then operating profit going to increase. Icing on the cake in operating profit can be non-interest income. But that is icing on the cake only. Main cake is operating profit, that is between spread, the difference between interest earned and interest spent. So this is message from my side too. Regarding trade union movement, nicely arranged program. I know many unit host a conference, national conference. It is a privilege for that unit and it is a pain also for that unit. Privilege, that is a matter of respect, that yes, Telangana or Andhra unit arranging a, organizing a, hosting a national conference, but pain only they know, then how much it takes to make all arrangement. But really nicely arranged whatever I have seen, and I can say, I have this privilege to be here because many conferences I have seen. I am the person with I can say the good experience because 15 years I was sitting in that side of the table, negotiating table, and almost 15 years I have been sitting this side of the table. So senior comrade, those who are here, they know this, and I am really privileged. Bank gave me this opportunity. And now last 1 minute, I'll talk about Human Rai Chaudhary, whom he says, Dada. He used to come and meet me, and used to come and today I tell you in secret, he used to come and meet me in two capacity. He'll say sometimes that I had to meet you, give me time. So, okay, any time you can come. No, not any time, give me time. Then okay, you can come. So then he put two conditions. That today I am coming to meet Naresh Kumar, today I am coming to meet GMHRM. Because these two different things, no? So often he used to come and meet GMHRM, but sometimes when he feels he will come in to meet me, Naresh Kumar. This privilege I have been getting from Federation. With this first, thank you very much. This growth story of the bank, we need to carry on all together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. It is my immense pleasure to welcome on the podium our guest of honor, Comrade Murali Soundara T, President, All India Bank Officers Confederation. I request him to speak on this occasion. Please, sir.
Respected Comrade Soumya Datta, General Secretary, All India Bank Officers Confederation, and my comrade in arms, very privileged to be his running mate in All India Bank Officers Confederation. Madam Tamilisai Soundarajan in absentia, Sri Somashankara Prasad, Managing Director and CEO UCO Bank, who gave a very illuminating speech. Normally, MDs used to seize all the opportunities to boast about the business performance and to use this as a podium to make convey a message. What do you expect? I think it is one of the best speeches I ever heard from a managing director who proudly proclaimed that we are on the both sides of the coin. I think we are not a warring parties, we are walking in holding our arms together for the welfare of the bank. Sri Naresh Kumar, General Manager HR, another illuminating speaker for the evening. Comrade Dilip Saga, Executive Vice President, AIUCBOF. Comrade D'Souza, President. Comrade Murthy, Chairman Reception Committee. Comrade Srijan Pal, General Secretary, Regional Rural Bank Officers Federation affiliated to AIUCBOF. Comrade K.D. Keda, a walking almanac of the service condition of the bank officers. And the most revered Comrade Roy Chaudhary, General Secretary of All India UCO Bank Officers Federation. My salutations and warm wishes to you on this evening where we have gathered
to celebrate the pre-Diamond Jubilee celebrations of the Federation. It's a rare privilege accorded to me to have been invited to share my thoughts on this auspicious occasion. Celebrating trade unions are, see, likewise today in every business environment, all organizations are under stress. Not particularly relating to COVID, even otherwise. All environments, all business environments, and trade unions are also among them who are under stress for various reasons, because of the inimical policy measures being unleashed on the financial sector of the country by the successive governments. Trade unions have taken upon themselves the responsibility of defending the financial independent structure of the country, safeguarding the public sector banks of the country. In fact, we always consider it is our bounden duty to hand over to the Gen Next the precious jewel, family jewel we have inherited by name of the public sector banks to the next generation, that we have to hand over to the next generation what we have in it. Towards this award objective, various affiliates of the All India Bank Officers Confederation, which commands a massive 83% membership of the bank officers, have taken upon the responsibility along with the federal units to be in a state of preparedness to offer resistance to the hilt to whatever measures the government takes towards privatizing any of the public sector banks of the country, comrades. We were 20 on the map of the country. Then after the mergers were undertaken, it became 13. And I belong to a bank which, as UCO Bank, which did not, was in the list announced by the finance minister under the merged entities, that we were rejoicing that we were not in the list of merged entities. Of course, without realizing that our happiness will be short-lived, because then came the bigger demand of the announcement by the finance minister that 2 public sector banks will be privatized. And unfortunately, Indian Overseas Bank and Central Bank of India was the oft-touted names being planted repeatedly in popular media about these 2 banks being pushed for the, even yesterday we had news about Central Bank of India. Any news on privatization, ultimately you will carry a tagline that from reliable sources it is learned that Indian Overseas Bank and Central Bank of India are the lead players touted for privatization. So you all belong to a bank. Thankfully, to the sagacious leaders of the yesteryear leaders, probably you are strongly placed that your bank name doesn't figure in the list of privatization for the time being. So our tagline, which AIUCBOF has adopted, is no one is safe until everyone is safe. That is the tagline we adopt. Today it may not be your turn, but tomorrow anything can happen. So we have to nip in the bud any moment, because we always strongly believe that what the parliament can do, streets can undo. And at a personal level, I am a very strong believer in the philosophy that in the realm of public policy making, public interest is the touchstone, and no democratic government can afford to unveil any policies which are inimical to the economic interest of the country. After this historical I should say, when the banks were brought into the ambit of the state control in 2 tranches, one in 1969 and in 1980, the development which we have witnessed across all the sectors of the country are very stupendous. Not only, in fact, the strength of the staff also underwent a very probably dramatic change. Today we have amongst us, even in clerical and as well as supervisory staff, we have technical people serving us who have reneged the career in a very lucrative private sector in the award objective of nation building and with the cherished objective of enjoying the benefits of the collective bargaining. So this benefit of collective bargaining is continuously being protected, guarded by none other than the All India Bank Officers Confederation. Today, the industry has moved towards a supervisory oriented industry. So in that scenario, All India Bank Officers Confederation has got a very pivotal role in making your dreams come true, in protecting the interests of the public sector bank. In fact, we are very much worried, and we have unleashed a very sensitive campaign to sensitize the public, because this battle is not for staff alone. We are fighting for the society. So we have to take into our bandwagon a lot of right-thinking individuals of the country towards this abode objective. All India Bank Officers Confederation, to harness the strength of the social media, we have launched a page, Bank Bachao, Desh Bachao, and I think we have already crossed a following of 1.55 lakhs. Miles to go, comrades. It's miles to go, but nevertheless, we have made a very strong beginning. In fact, due to the protest launched by the All India Bank Officers Confederation, the bill which was slated to be taken up with the Parliament during the last session has been relegated, and we have a very strong hunch that it may hit the agenda this Parliament. We have adequately geared, and Comrade Soumya Datta, under whom AIUCBOF has been functioning in a very methodical and systematic manner, has strategized itself very well, so that we will be taking account of all the minuscule developments, so that appropriate response mechanism is being strategized on our part and put in place. And you all have an inherent duty that normally as a member, I think this is a very allied group of office bearers and delegates from across the country. Normally as a common member, we will be engrossed in our limited objective of getting a desired posting, getting the service condition, because now only basic salary structure is being finalized under the joint note, and other things are under the bank-driven policies. So we will be constrained to work under that. It is the duty of every one of you to go back to your constituencies and sensitize the members whom you represent about the issues on hand, so that we as a responsible trade union takes up the challenges which is thrown to us in the appropriate manner. And I am very happy to be amongst you to share my thoughts. In fact, I always draw a parallel between UCO Bank and Indian Overseas Bank. In fact, when we came up for the initial public offer, UCO Bank also came. When we for the second public issue, UCO Bank also came. And always our share prices quoted at the stock markets were used to be compared with the UCO Bank by our executives. Whenever we attend a meeting, we always used to have sermonizations from our executive saying, UCO Bank is also similarly placed, we are also similarly placed, and their share prices are much higher than our share prices. When we look at that, their NPA levels are substantially low. I think you have kept up, you have passed the lit fire twice. When when UCO Bank, Indian Bank, United Bank of India were going through a very tough time of recording net losses, you underwent it thanks to the proactive approach of the All India UCO Bank Officers Federation. You passed the test in flying colors, and after that, when we are placed in the PCA also, you come out very successfully out of the clutches of the PCA. In fact, my institution came up very recently, last September. We have suffered more than 7 years without no recruitment, no benefits being accorded, but UCO Bank management did not stop any of the benefits. So you are proud to be accorded such a wonderful treatment by the management. They never, see, the success of the management is they never had a knee-jerk reaction or the issues. They planned themselves, their operations in a very systematic manner. I am very happy to note you came out very successfully with the flying colors. My congratulations to all of you, and I once again appeal to you to stay united, cohesive manner, so that our issues are taken up very effective manner because the strength of the members gives them a lot of morale boost to the leadership, and we will be marching ahead with our heads held high on, because our objective is very noble and laudable. Thank you, comrades. Thank you.
Wow. Sir, you have spoken so strongly. I'm sure your voice will be resonating within us And in future, whenever it is needed, we are ready to come together and fight for our identity and for our mother institution. Thank you, sir. Next, our guest of honor, Comrade Dilip Shah, Executive Vice President, All India Bank Officers Confederation, will come up on the podium and speak on the occasion. Please, sir, you are requested to come on the dais.
Comrade D'Souza, President of today's function, Sri Somasankara Prasadji, our MD and CEO of UCO Bank, Comrade Murli, my President in IBOC, Comrade Somadatta, General Secretary, Sri Naresh Kumarji, General Manager, Sri P.S. Murthy, Chairman Reception Committee, Comrade Srijan Pal, General Secretary RRBs, and our own Comrade Kheraji, Kedi Khera, our former General Secretary of AIPNBOA, and of course, the doyen of the industry, Comrade Somen Roy Chaudhary, General Secretary, UCO Bank Officers Federation, and dear comrades. I think today when I agree with Comrade Murli, then when your MD and CEO spoke, and we always have these type of meetings at various banks and MDs do come and participate. But today what we heard was something different, totally different, and it was very inspiring and down to earth. Although Comrade Naresh Kumarji tried to modify something and put a little balance on it, but then I think the UCO Bank is in a very strong hand and very good hand, and you are going to have a very beautiful time enjoying the work in the bank. I remember now that I am in Mumbai for about now 47, 48 years, but in my childhood when I was in my village in Bengal, and when we were not having any bank account or anything, but one bank name I had heard, because it was, my house was just behind that bank, and that was UCO Bank in Bengal. So that we learned from that any bank name, that was only UCO Bank, United Commercial Bank. So that is the sort of relation, and in 1969, among all the 13 banks, the major banks, UCO Bank was one of that, became a public sector organization. And I think this bank has seen an ups and downs throughout in last many decades. There was a time when the settlement was not implemented or not to be implemented. Some banks were termed as a weak banks and this and that. So I think it's today we are celebrating the pre-golden jubilee. No, this is pre-diamond jubilee. This 59 years that you have completed, and the bank has completed so many years. Once in our meeting in our bank, PNB, one general manager used to say that every company would die someday and it would become an NPA someday. But if you see the organizations like the public sector banks, that it is always facing the challenges and coming out. Now the challenges are actually all pre-planned. The challenges are thrown to us. If you see the sequence of events since this 2014, you will find that things are happening, that public sector has become a dirty word, and how to convince people that we need to privatize, we need to merge, we need to sell them. All these, they have to create a situation by which people gets convinced, and that is how I think the first item came from RBI in 2015. That was AQR, Asset Quality Review. Prior to that, all RBI given programs of CDR, SDR, 525 scheme, all were there to restructure accounts, how not to make it an NPA, and in JLM, they have to give more finance to the company. All this in one stroke was wiped out, and I was in the board on those days, and our MD was called, and all the MDs were called. RBI gave list of accounts that 50% of these you have to convert to NPA by December 2015 and the balance 50% by March 2016. And if you see the balance sheet of March 2016 of all the public sector banks, all of them had shown huge, net loss. So from there it started that you can, slowly go into changing the structure of the public sector organizations, especially public sector banks. We have been hearing about banking reform, but then the government came out with such mergers. But prior to that, once this AQR came, the balance sheets were in such condition. The next year, the banks required some capital from the government, statutory capital. And before giving that capital, they put a condition that banks should draw 3 years program and how they would come out of this, how they will generate profit, and for that the schedule has to be, that will be monitored by SBI caps, and it is to be signed by the management, DFS and the union leaders. I remember I was at that time president of AIUCBOF. We held a 2 days or 3 days workshop at Chennai with all the general secretaries of the banks to study their balance sheet and see how we can come out with the with our strategies. Once this was done, some banks were given even 100 crore, only 100 crore, and some bank was given 1500 crore. So this was the contribution of the government at that time, and thereafter it was to be monitored for 3 years. But the very next year, the subsidiary banks were merged with SBI. The next year, 2 banks were merged with Bank of Baroda, and after 1 year, these 10 banks got merged into 4 banks. And now this budget, they came out with 2 banks will be privatized. So all these looks like a totally pre-planned agenda how it to move. And now again, we all know how RBI is independent, how much independent it is nowadays, because when they shunted all these things of restructuring, they came out with again those things during the COVID period, and a few days back they raised 40 basis points in repo, and then there was some noise from the government, and yesterday the governor says we will do something else. And so many things are taking place, and in this whole process, the public sector banks, and I think in India, in very many cases you will find in very few developing countries or such developing countries within the threshold of being a developed country, you will find the banks play such a big role in implementing the fiscal policy and the economic policy of the government. In India, we implement so many of them. When the COVID came, government came out with a 20 lakh crore package. What was that package? At least 14 lakh crore was related to the banking financing and banking support only. So, in spite of all these happening, the banks are progressing. And when we heard about the PLI being given in UCO Bank, I think this is a fantastic situation that has developed in UCO Bank. I asked Somenda, he said last year we got something, this year we got 10 days. I'll tell you a small story how PLI was related to only the operating profit. When we were discussing in the IBA, the wage revision, they started with 6%. They said this is enough. Now we'll give you PLI. And they gave us a projection that if there is a increase in your operating profit, so much percentage, and so much percentage increase in your net profit together, then you get A category. It's lower in 2 categories, B, and still lower is C and C. We of course rejected that because they were trying to say in lieu of the other increase in the salary revision, you should take this. But in the time to proceed, when we finally reached about 15%, that time they of course reduced the benefits of the PLI at 15 days, 10 days and 5 days. Somebody from the UFBU spoke on that meeting, in a meeting, I think Saumada was there or Franco was there with me, because I worked with 2 general secretaries at that time. You were there. Somebody said that we don't accept the net profit. That should not be the condition, because it is not in the hands of the employees. And then the negotiating team, the MD of Bank of Baroda was just sitting opposite me. He reacted very strongly. This is not acceptable. How you can say that your net profit is not in the hands of the employees and officers and this, that. He was very much this thing. Then I told him, sir, should I tell you something? He said, yes. I said, you are a MD of Bank of Baroda. You have signed the balance sheet of 2015 with a huge profit. Correct? While signing the balance sheet of 2015, did you know that you will be signing the balance sheet of March 2016 in red? Because in between, there was a big policy change. The AQR came. So how it is in our hand when you are changing the policies in a manner, and then tomorrow they change the provisioning norms, again it will be a different picture altogether. So somehow I think that set in, and then they removed that net profit criteria, and it has come to this pass today. Today what is happening is, when we signed the last settlement in 2015, when I went to my head office, most of the person who came and congratulated me was the general managers. They said that whatever the settlement is, these 2 Saturdays holiday is the biggest achievement. It's a tremendous thing. Now today, we are demanding 5 days a week, and we are working on it. Comrade Somadatta is continuously working on it. But those same general managers or deputy general managers or whatever other bosses in the banks, they are not allowing you to take that Saturday off. Most of the Saturdays, Sundays, they are calling people, officers to the field. And today, our governor said that, you have to improve your, physical health, mental health and everything. But then that is being snatched away by calling every Saturday, Sunday. And another thing that I am noticing in nowadays is that, see, once you are put as a branch incumbent, you are a leader. And a leader would think his own way of, he has been given a budget. He will think how to do it, how to do it. I don't think anybody leaves his home in the morning after taking breakfast that he wants to be a non-performer. Nobody wants to be a non-performer. So they have to plan and do things. But today, I don't know about UCO Bank, but in most of the banks, everything is directed. Today you do locker rent recovery and this and this. Tomorrow you do this. Tomorrow, the next day you do this. And that's how, we are not creating any more leaders. We are only directing, and they have to work as per that direction. So how will you develop the skill of, as a leader? Because I think when earlier generation or earlier, some years back, people used to work, they used to devise their way of doing things. One manager will be doing differently than another manager. And the other point is that the meetings and VCs, it is so damn often that I don't know when people get time to work. Every small thing, they are first man, second man, and this. And I think this type of thing is not helping our youngsters to grow in a manner that they should be taking higher responsibilities. Once you go through various experiences, if you fail somewhere only, then you learn faster. But if you are not allowed to fail, you are to only given guidance, you do this and you do that. At a time, campaigns, various campaigns, third-party products, all this is somehow is creating, and in many cases, we are aping the private sector banks and the foreign banks. Our MD here correctly said that actually there is a difference between the 2 type of business, what we are doing. We have done, government gives us all programs. Jan Dhan program, who made it, such big, fantastic. are the public sector banks. Once in our board, one general manager, very enthusiastic, after a few months he came and presented to the board that, sir, we have made profit in Jandhan accounts. And everybody clapped in this thing. Then I just simply asked, you tell me how you have calculated the profit. So they are taking the TPM, transfer mechanism. I said, fine, transfer mechanism. Have you calculated the cost of the service, the passbook, the electricity, the rent, the salary? Then the MD told him, "Arey, you keep quiet, don't show this." So, people are trying to, when you know that certain business that we are doing, it is taking away our time for doing something profitable also. But then, we are, being a public sector, we are to do all those things, and we are doing it very happily. In all the Naxalite belt, all the difficult areas, we have our officers, our female officers are being posted, and a new phenomenon came that, I don't know if it's happening in UCO Bank or not, they put a day-end check so that you still sit late and to do things there. What you could not do from 10 to 5, how will you get it done at 8 o'clock at night? I don't understand. So it is a satisfaction, and it is a satisfaction that we are addressing. And every bank, the top has become so heavy, there are hardly people in the branches, and fortunately or unfortunately, you call it, the customers approach the branch. So if they get a service in the branch, then for them, that is the service of the bank. So to enable to do that, and we are still implementing some age-old, advice given by some committee that this should be the ratio of officer, clerk, and this and that. We are trying to implement in today's time when there is a difference in approach. Today, people don't come to the branches. Youngsters, if you see your children, those who are elderly, your children are not opening bank accounts with the public sector banks. They are opening with others. And somehow, that perception that the others are better, efficient, that we are public sector are not, that notion, of course, has to be removed by us in the branches when we deal with our customers. And in the coming days, when we are focusing on our, various agitation programs that Comrade Murli has already told you, I am leaving all those issues because General Secretary AIUCBOF is yet to speak. So our organization, AIUCBOF, has never played a negative role in any bank. We had that 2-3 days seminar workshop only to help our general secretaries to understand how they can improve the bank's position, what are the lacunas, what are the problem areas. So, and another point is, if you see the NPA position, 80% of the NPAs would be the sanctions of the head office or the higher offices. But today we have to go in the Sundays and Saturdays for recovery and all this. No problem, it is our bank, we'll be going that. But then in some places, in one bank, I won't name it, one MD came and in 3 years, he doubled the number of branches. Another bank, when we studied, we found a small size bank is also having exposure in corporate to the range of 68%. What would be the exposure of State Bank or some of the bigger banks? A very small bank was very, much in that same league. So when they fell or the accounts became NPA, they came into a very big problem. One bank was having its net loss higher than the operating profit. So all these sort of things we have seen. But again, our officers, our employees in the field only have brought all those situations to improve the banks in these years. And we should only ask from our management, give us a little time in order to achieve what you want us to achieve. We will achieve everything, but don't demand it that today you told us and in 10 days you want the same performance. It doesn't happen. So, and last time when I met another meeting in Mumbai, where Comrade Somenda had called me, I'll repeat that same story here so that I can end, and a lot of speakers are there, that today the attitude of top management towards branch people, and when they post somebody in a branch, and what is their expectation. It could be best, told in a small story that somebody told me that monkeys were having a meeting. They called Hanuman and said कि हमारा तो गांव में हम जब जंगल में थे तो we were attacked by the bigger animals. We came to the cities, we went to the temples and captured there because people put a lot of fruits and all. But nowadays they are, harassing us. And then where do we go? How can we survive? So Hanumanji had advised them that you do one thing. There are a lot of barren lands in the country. You capture some barren lands, do some work. अब वहाँ हल चलाइए, खाद डालिए, मिट्टी डालिए, मेहनत करिए, बीज लगाइए, तो बीज से आपका बड़ा बड़ा पेड़ आएगा, फल आएगा, and it is your area. There is nobody. So they said, very good. कितना दिन लगेगा? थोड़ा महीना तो लगेगा आपको मेहनत करने में. तो said, fine, we'll do it. इन्होंने बहुत मेहनत से काम किया, 6 महीने तक पूरा काम किया, एक भी पेड़ आया नहीं, एक भी ट्री उगा नहीं. तो उन्होंने बोला हमें तो हनुमान जी कुछ बुद्धू बना के चले गए. सो दे अगेन कॉल्ड ए मीटिंग एंड हनुमान जी को दोबारा बुलाया. तो उनको बताया कि भाई आपने जो बताया सब कुछ किया, तो एक भी पेड़ आया नहीं, आप बोलते हो पेड़ आएगा, फल आएगा. तो बोला ये तो हो नहीं सकता है. व्हेन वी व्हाटएवर आई टोल्ड यू, ये प्रूवन चीज है. तो बोला नहीं, आप गलत बोला. बोला अच्छा ठीक है, आप हमको बताओ आपने कैसे किया. तो उन्होंने बताया कि देखो भाई हमने मिट्टी में खाद मिलाया, उसको हल चलाया, उसको फिर खोदा, बीज डाला, ऊपर से खाद मिट्टी डाला, फिर पानी डाला. बोला फाइन, ठीक किया है. फिर अगला दिन हम आए, वापस उसको खोड़े, फिर बीज को निकाले, कितने आए? नहीं आए. फिर रख दिया, फिर ढक दिया. तो हमारा आज ये हाल है. आज ब्रांच में डालते हैं, कल बोलते हैं तुम निकम्मा है, तुम काम नहीं कर रहे हो. तो समवेयर we should be given that time, and we all love our banks. We are very, passionate and about our own banks, and nobody should think that anybody is more loyal than us. So, if we are given and nurtured, and today what I heard from your MD, I think you are in such a good position that tomorrow is a better day for UCO Bank, and I wish all of you success in this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for speaking our heart out. We all agree that he actually pinpointed the underlying issues that we officers face every day at the work front. Thank you, sir. Now, it is my immense pleasure to call on the podium Comrade Soumya Datta, General Secretary, All India Bank Officers Confederation, also the keynote speaker for today's program.
President of the meeting, Comrade D'Souza, respected MD sir, respected DMHR sir, my President, Comrade Murali, respected Dilip Da. Dilip Da is a mentor, advisor, although he's the executive vice president, but then he's one of the most seasoned leaders in the entire banking diaspora. Of course, I have grown up idolizing a few persons right from when I joined the bank in early '87. He's Comrade Shomenda, a living legend who has been associated with the All India Bank Officers Confederation from the day of its inception. And he's a living legend for all of us. And it is a privilege for me, to share the stage with Shomenda. I pay my deepest tribute to Comrade K.D. Khedaji, former president of AIUCBOF, another legend, former General Secretary of All India Punjab National Bank Officers Association, and comrades. On a personal note, sir, our MD, sir, I'm really fortunate to share stage with him. On a personal note, 2 of my batchmates are heading 2 public sector banks, and another state bank leader has taken over as NARCL, and also Dhanalakshmi Bank. So it's a personal privilege to share space with you. And I endorse what Dilip Da said, what Comrade Murali said. I endorse the crisp, precise address of our MD sir, which has, I think, struck the right chords at the right places. Now, coming back to today's conference, from all who have gathered here from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Ahmedabad to Aizawl, we are meeting at a cusp of a time, the 11th Triennial Conference, when the battle lines have been drawn. I'm really thankful we maintain in our IBOC office an Excel sheet where I start putting the performances every quarter-on-quarter basis for every public sector bank. And when the UCO Bank's results came out with 929.76, if I'm not mistaken, and the last result was that of Bank of India, then ultimately we found that all the public sector banks have posted profits. And just now, Comrade Murali passed on the information that all the public sector banks together have given a dividend of 7,867 crore to the government. Now, question is, then why is the issue? Why is the issue that is we are confronting today? The issue of banks being sold off. Let us take you back. Let us use this opportunity to many of you, you may not be aware. When the banks were nationalized in 1960, all of us, we know that. But many of us are not aware that nationalization of the banks were vehemently opposed by a particular section of the political diaspora. On the floor of the parliament, late Prime Minister Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, he gave a very strong speech against bank nationalization. Bharatiya Jansangh vehemently opposed it. Now let us understand, the present ruling dispensation is also against the philosophy of bank nationalization. It's a political battle. I will not accept any other story that the government cannot run banks. It goes on very deep, like the history is being excavated. We find, so much of talk about these temples and masjids and all whatnot. But deliberately, the fabric of the society is being trampled upon. In the public sector space, be it State Bank of India, be it ONGC, be it BSNL, be it Oil India, be it Air India, they do not represent mere institutions. They are part of a philosophy that transformed the entire country, made it self-reliant. The bank nationalization, the RRB formation, all were parts of this great success story. And this success story is being now rewritten. It has been told what Dilip said, that give the dog a bad name before you shoot it. But every bank is performing. We are fulfilling every scheme of the government. But yet the government is bent on destroying the public sector space. It is a political battle. And let us fight it politically. We are very proud to say that we have resisted the draconian attempt when, despite the finance minister's commitment that 2 banks will be privatized, 2 public sector banks, we have resisted. AIUCBOF has been the dominant force. We conceptualized the Bharat Yatra. When we started on a Bharat Yatra, never undertaken by any banking trade union in the entire history. 2 Jathas, one from Kolkata, one from Mumbai, we started. We covered all the states. And when we reached Jantar Mantar, we gave a clarion call to the government. There were almost 5,000 bank officers, students, farmers, politicians, central trade unions, pensioners, retirees. Every sector of the society has joined us. And in fact, when we went on the move, when NDTV started giving it a wide coverage, feelers was given from the highest level. Call came to State Bank of India chairman, call came to IBA chairman. What is this organization AIUCBOF all about? Who is this individual Soumya Datta? Is he a communist? Is AIUCBOF any political trade union? They were told that no, AIUCBOF is the dominant force in the banking trade union movement. It is not affiliated to any central political trade union. It has its own agenda for espousing the cause of the members, espousing the cause of the common people. And then they realized, these officers are on the streets with so many people. That time the government, they took stock of the situation. It was followed by a 2-day strike by UFBU. Of course, and we had given a clarion call on 30th of November that if this bill is passed, we will be approaching each and every voter in all the poll-bound states, and we will be canvassing against the policies of the government, because we are connected to 120 crore of the populace. And what Comrade Murali said, what the parliament can do, the streets can undo. We have played a role in West Bengal elections. when the state unit of AIBOC went on a door-to-door campaign, exposing the policies of the government, it had a reflection in the ballot boxes. And we gave the similar threat to the government that if this bill is tabled, we will ensure that this ill motives will be exposed. That was our challenge. I remember a journalist asking me a question when we started the journey in Calcutta. Are you sure that you will be able to reach Delhi? What he didn't ask, are you certain that you won't be arrested? So I said, Rok sake to rok lo. And when we went to Jantar Mantar, on that meeting I said, picture abhi baki hai mera dost. Ye sirf trailer tha. When we reached Kolkata, after a few weeks, the same journalist came to me. So look, after this historical yatra, this bill has been stalled. So you have done a great job. I said, no. Then I gave him another dialogue. Pushpa, AIUC jhukega nahi. So that is the strength of AIBOC. That is the strength we represent. It is a dominant force in the banking trade union industry. It is an officer-driven industry. There's no qualms about it. No second opinion on that. When officers we want something, because whatever performance is being reflected upon, it is a contribution predominantly of the officers. So it is our right to, claim whatever is due to us in each and every bank. When I was addressing a meeting in Patna of my affiliate, I said that, look at this. I was discussing with a Axis Bank branch manager who's having a Delhi, who's having business of 120 crore. I said, how many officers are there? He said there are 5 assistant branch managers, 5 relationship managers, and there are, of course, contractual marketing employees. And look at that. The branch that is the nearest to my house, it has a business of around 2,000 crore. It has just 3 officers. How do you expect to serve the customers? I said that the manpower planning in public sector banks is almost like, I played some cricket. It's almost the Duckworth-Lewis formula. Except for those who calculate the run rate and the required run rate, nobody in the ground, not even the players, not even the spectator, they understand what is the logic behind it. What is the rationale behind such, staff compliments in the branches? This is happening across banks. This is the unfortunate that there's so much of a negativity that is, sprayed against, directed against the public sector banks is the customer service. But we are trying. Yes, we are trying. Definitely it's gone up. But apart from customer service, the good things that we have done during the demonetization, during the pandemic, not a single customer complaint came to, I am certain, to any public sector bank. During the entire period of the pandemic, not a single customer complaint came. Because people knew that what we have done. Because we have made the wheels of the economy moving. We kept the wheels of the economy moving. But despite all that, we had not been recognized as frontline COVID warriors by the government. We had written strong letters. When the vaccination was announced, when our people were dying every day, almost 3,000 bankers have officially, quote unquote, they have lost their lives. They have laid down their lives in the line of duty. We were not given vaccination. Yet, we kept the economy moving. We are not treated at par with our counterparts in the police or in the state administration or in the healthcare. And that was a challenge for all of us. Ultimately, the government has relented. They have recognized, all the banks have come out with different schemes, but we have lost so many people who have laid down. We call ourselves the financial army. And they have been the martyrs in taking this country forward. That is the contribution of public sector banks. That is the strength of public sector banks. And yet, when we find this, this situation that the government is bent upon handing everything over, each and every sector is handing over to a few chosen corporate houses. Banking is one space is yet to be, taken over. But that blueprint is drawn. Everybody wants their share of pie. So this is the campaign. We have to fight it out on the streets. There's no second option on it. We have to fight it on the streets as well as on the social media. We have a dedicated Facebook page, Bank Bachao, Desh Bachao. Every day the likes are increasing. We have a dedicated team, a few obsessed individuals. But we need, like Ravi Shankar, I think a young guy in blue shirt, he's been going around. He's there. He's approaching each of you asking for your mobile to download Facebook Lite and send invitations. Make sure the customers that you are working branches, let the customers join the movement. Out of 1,55,000 followers, 50% of them are non-bankers. Each and every post is a new way of collecting support for a movement. We have collected so many signatures. From AIUCBOF, we have received 5 lakh signatures. But see, this is a different campaign. When you make somebody sign a campaign, okay, you're putting him on, we are not getting in contact with him later. But if he joins our Facebook page, every day he will be observing our post. It is an established fact that 23 crore of the Indian citizens, they access Facebook for 2 hours every day. Even the remotest, I have conducted a village meet in the remote village in Banaras. I found 90% of women folk of self-help groups were having Facebook accounts. We could canvass there. This is a need each and every one of us have to do, to enlist more and more followers, to seek the support of our customers, our stakeholders, because we are connected. And people have realized they cannot counter, the government cannot counter 2 narratives. One, your deposit will not be safe if the banks fail. That is what government wants. All those, this jugglery of capital infusion, we have shredded to pieces. Our Honorable Finance Minister said that we have pumped in 3 crore, 10 lakh capital infusion to banks. What she does not say, that the banks have written off 4.5 lakh crore of NPAs. The recovery from IBC mechanism only 33%. 33%. And between January and March, it has fallen to almost 10.2. So it's a win-win situation for the capitalists, this industry houses. You take a loan, you go bust, and somebody else will be buying that piece of asset at a very throwaway price. It's called fancy called a haircut, but we all know what is, entire body is being chopped, a few strands of hair are given to the, It's a win-win situation for the crony corporate houses. And this is what is ailing. We have to expose this jugglery, these jargons of the government that they are doing so much for the public sector banks. We have exposed them. We have taken out a list. We have compiled a list which will come out in the EC meeting schedule on 6th. How much is being, we have got all the data. How much of loans have been written of top 43 corporate houses which took loans of over 2,500 crore. So that is the data we have. On one hand, we are the propping up the economy. We are doing all the dirty job. But when it comes to recognition, when it comes to our rights, when it comes to serving people, when it comes to protecting social justice to ensure that SC, ST, OBCs get a job in the public sector companies, they are being trampled upon. These are the pillars that we have to fight. Yes, it is a challenging task. But we have proved, the farmers have proved, जितने भी अड़ियाल और अहंकार ये सरकार हो, अगर हम अपने इरादे पर डटे रहेंगे, ये सरकार को भी हम हिला सकते हैं. It's a reality. So we have this, we can take a cue of the movement, the democratic movement that has changed the course of movements in the country. And yes, we are connected. On the days of our struggle that looms ahead, we have to enlist the support of all our stakeholders. Each branch manager should tell his customers, tomorrow your branch will be sold off to this modern day sahukars. And it is your bounden duty, your avowed duty, as my president says this, I like this jargon, your avowed duty to protect your bank, which is your mother institution, because it represents a philosophy that transforms the country. On that note, let us join the movement, Bank Bachao, Desh Bachao. It is a movement to protect the country's interest, the sovereignty of the nation, and to protect the poor common citizens of the country. So I'll end wishing the 11th Triennial an outstanding success, so that people who have come here, comrades who have assembled here, go back with a spark of fire in you, that tomorrow we'll be fighting on the streets, tomorrow we'll be challenging this so quote-unquote powerful government, so that they are made to hit the humble pie. And on that note, let us all join this slogan. Bank Bachao! Bank Bachao! Bank Bachao! Thank you.
Zindabad, Zindabad. Zindabad. Thank you, sir. As you can see, your words have passed on your energy to each one of us, and we all are awakened from within. And in the days to come, come what may, we assure you, we are ready to stand together and fight together. So now, it is my immense pleasure to call up to this podium General Secretary, All India UCO Bank Officers Federation, our most beloved Comrade Shoman Roy Chaudhary, our Dada.
Please sit down. Please sit down. Please sit down. My respected Managing Director, Sri Prasad, General Manager Naresh Kumar ji, and my senior leaders and my comrades. I do not know it is my fortune or a new situation is emerging. Realities, bank employee reluctantly had been facing so long, and now they are confidently confirming that their whatever trouble they face is generated from nowhere else other than the committed politicians who had been helping a new situation to emerge. Day after day, things are changing, and things will bring a new change for future once we are able to coordinate and convince the people who are to serve this industry for another 10 to 15 years' time. And they are known as a younger generation in the banking industry. Industry is taking a shift from touching the customer from there to digital banking. Entire situation is changing, customer face will change, your activity area will change, all that changes will be coming. Already it has started in every sphere. Comrades, in this change, should we become a party or not? To my mind, we should become a party and ensure that the process which have been initiated is not protective to the customer's interest. And therefore, we must reach to the general customers who are not conversant with the system at all. To make the customers conversant, we need to go for mass banking people to be approached by the bankers. Then only we will be in a position to take the customer along with us. Whatever is in the store, that will keep on coming because political will is much stronger. Much stronger. And as Shomo has rightly analyzed and said, earlier speakers have all said, and I am sure if my MD is also given the liberty to speak whatever he has spoken, beyond that from his heart, he also will definitely agree that changes are definitely anti-bank, anti-India. Indian public from, I do not know whether in the house anybody is there who has seen the private bank, UCO Bank, Birla's Bank. Anybody has worked with private bank here? Lot many retired people are here. Mr. Kheda says he has worked.
And I joined Mr. Khera because I also worked in United Commercial Bank Limited. Comrade, things were definitely different. In the process, labor law have been shifted. Labor code has come in. 36 AD, which was restrictive to the bank employees movement or any movement where you have to maintain 100-meter distance from the branches for any demonstration or any other effort you make in the labor movement. These are all coming back one after another. And are we conscious? Are we conscious about this? We are not conscious because we are not aware. I don't say that it is anybody's fault. It is definitely the role of the leadership will have to come in to make people understand what they have lost or what they are going to lose. Then only the movement of bank employees will get regenerated and become protective. And that is what is required to be understood also. Coming to the issues, what Mr. Somodatta has said, and I had been one, probably Somodatta will admit, that repeatedly trying to haunt him by saying, what is beyond November? What is beyond November? The entire movement of bank officers all over the country have been taken to a peak by AIBOC. Other organizations had been very closely following up, and then suddenly they came in the front to say that there should be two-day strike. These are all there. But fact remains, entire movement against privatization was piloted by AIBOC leadership. And to that, main role and the front role is of my General Secretary Somodatta. And therefore, what we need today is that general of the war, which we have already won, might be another more attack will come. But before that, let the army understand what they have to do the next. November, Comrade Datta will be retiring. What next then? Movement will happen, cannot stop, because 2024, till then there may be some mechanics will develop that privatization is kept on hold. But fact remains, once the target is set, they will approach once again. To fight out this battle, we will have to be all together. We will have to correct our approaches and ensure that our people who fight for the rights, they should know, they should understand what they are going to lose if they do not fight. Days ahead, salary revision, these, that, all these are there. But at the same time, bigger fight is of employment. Bigger fight is of our rights. Bigger fight is of our existence. Bank employees are definitely not going to get peace if the present set of people continue to administer the banking industry. What is left as of today is that you go in IBA level, keep on talking, some benefits will come, but it does not give surety to you what is your future for tomorrow. I hope I will not drag it further, but I can only assure you that the main demand of today's labor movement in banking industry is that younger generation should come up in the front line. If they are convinced, they will have to win, they must win for future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dada. Listening to you is always an inspiration. Dear comrades, do we realize how lucky we are? We have all these stalwarts in their field together on the dais. We are so lucky to be able to listen to them together, these distinguished dignitaries. We are really honored, and to express our deepest gratitude, we'll be presenting memento as a small token of love and appreciation for coming here. I request K. Swati to come up and present a memento to Sri Shoma Shankara Prasad, Managing Director and CEO, UCO Bank. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I request Comrade D. Sujata to come up on the dais and present a memento to Shri Naresh Kumar, General Manager, UCO Bank. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I request Comrade P. Sashikala to come and present the memento to Comrade Murali Sundararajan T., President, All India Bank Officers Confederation. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Comrade N. Sandhya to present the memento to Comrade Dilip Shah, Executive Vice President, All India Bank Officers Confederation. Can we have a bigger round of applause? I request Comrade P. Divya to present the memento to Comrade Soumya Datta, General Secretary, All India Bank Officers Confederation. Now, I request Comrade Vinila to present the memento to Comrade P.S. Murthy, Chairman, Reception Committee. Now I request Comrade Shanta Banerjee to present the memento to Comrade K.D. Khera, former President, All India Bank Officers Confederation. I request Comrade Vinila to present the memento to Comrade L.A. D'Souza, President, All India UCO Bank Officers Federation. I request Comrade P. Ramya to present the memento to Comrade J.C. Shandil, Chairman, AIUCBOF. तालियां कम पड़ रही हैं? Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I request Comrade Himani to present the memento to General Secretary, All India UCO Bank Officers Federation, Comrade Shoman Rao Chaudhary. It is time for a vote of thanks. So, for doing the honor, I request Comrade L.A. D'Souza, President AIUCBOF, to come up to the podium and present the vote of thanks. Thank you.
It has been such an honor to be part of this wonderful event. Respected MD and CEO, Prasad Saab, other dignitaries on the dais, and my dear comrades. On behalf of All India UCO Bank Officers Federation, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed dignitaries and guests. Inaugurator of the function, Dr. Srimati Tamilisai Soundararajan, Honorable Governor of Telangana and Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. Chief guest of the function, Shri Soma Shankara Prasad, Managing Director and CEO, UCO Bank. Guest of honor of the function, Shri Naresh Kumar, General Manager, UCO Bank. Comrade Murali Soundararajan, T, President, AIBOC. Comrade Dilip Saha, Executive Vice President, AIBOC. Keynote speaker, Comrade Somya Datta, General Secretary, AIBOC. A wide round of applause and thanks to all the participants who made the event a memorable one. Dalai Lama said, "The roots of all goodness lie in the soil of appreciation." Federation firmly believes in this saying and always remains grateful and appreciative of dignitaries and guests who stand by Federation. I, on behalf of All India UCO Bank Officers Federation, express our thanks and gratitude to Dr. Srimati Tamilisai Soundararajan, Honorable Governor of Telangana and Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, for spending a valuable time to attend and inaugurate this conference. A special thank and gratitude to our chief guest, Sri Soma Prasad, Managing Director and CEO, UCO Bank, for accepting our invitation and for being here with us today. Your thoughts have truly inspired us. We express confidence and hope that respected MD Sir will carry along all sections of employees and officers and their representatives and create harmonious relation between bank and majority officers. Federation is taking the bank to greater heights. Now I extend thanks and gratitude to respected Shri Naresh Kumar, General Manager, UCO Bank. such thundering success. I also extend my thanks to authorities of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Hyderabad, for allowing us to hold this function with such an excellent ambience. Last but not the least, I take this opportunity to express thanks and gratitude of the Federation to its about 7,000 members whose devotion, commitment, and love for the organization have made the Federation stronger, and they proved their loyalty to the organization in very trying times when attempts were made to weaken the Federation and its units. While proposing a vote of thanks once again to all on this momentous juncture and begging pardon for omissions if any, I send the message of the organization on this occasion in the language of Albert Camus. Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Just walk beside me and be my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's time for us to wrap up today's program. I thank each one of you. Without you all, we are nothing. Thank you for coming and making this event so successful. Thank you so much.
One big thank you to our compere today. What's her name? Sujaya. Madam Sujaya. Big hand, please. For the lovely comparing she has done. Thank you.
Comrades and guests, all are requested to come to Hotel Abode for joining the dinner. We have arranged all buses and this 40-seater bus and 22-seater buses. Kindly board and reach Hotel Abode to have the dinner at Temple View Conference Hall. Please, I request all the guests also to come to Hotel Abode to join for the dinner at Temple View of the Hotel Abode. Please. Comrades, buses are on the way. I think it may take another 5 to 10 minutes. You can sit and relax.